Yeah. Welcome to Afrique 24 TV, whereby we always make sure that you are well enlightened and entertained when it comes to a political show every day from Monday to Sunday at 10 p.m. That is East African time. I am your host today. My name is Boniface Kimanzi, and I will be joined by one of our best analyticals when it comes to politics. And again, a lot of guests are going to join me here. So I welcome you wherever you're watching Afrique 24. We are streamed in all platforms. Whenever you search Afrique 24 in YouTube, that is Afrique 24. In Facebook, you search Afrique 24. Instagram, Afrique 24. You search again in our social media platforms. You are going to get us there. So I welcome you today because this is a very big show, and we are going to know what has cropped today in our political forum. And again, you can see the main topic today is the housing bill goes to the public. Now we have the public participation. So before I start, I want to give an intro of our show. And again, I welcome everyone, wherever you're watching, so that you can tune in because this is a very big conversation we are going to have today in Ear Africa 24 TV. Yeah. This is Afrique 24 TV. My name is Boniface Kimanzi. Yeah, definitely. Once you see that logo, you know that we are here so that we can share. Actually, we unlock stories in all dimensions across the world. Whether you are in USA, whether you are in UK, that is England, in Africa, that is West Africa, Ghana, you are tuning, wherever you're tuning this show, I'm very sure today you're going to get a lot of information because we are going to discuss a lot of things when it comes to politics. And again, the main topic today is the housing bill goes into the public. Now, it is time now for public participation that is happening. You know that many Kenyans have been questioning why do we have this housing bill. So it is time now the housing bill goes to public because we know that the Constitution of Kenya gives every citizen a right to participate in every bill that is amended in the Constitution. So we have this housing bill that has been raising a lot of eyebrows when it comes to uh, uh, citizens. A lot of people are complaining. Why do we have this housing bill? What is the advantage? How is it going to benefit Kenyans? So those are the kind of questions that a lot of people are asking. Why did the government implement this rule? Why did they implement this rule? Is it going to benefit Kenyans in one way or the other? So these are the kind of things that Kenyans are asking themselves. And again, here I can say my co-host is here, right? That is Leon Nyambaya. He will be joining in a few. So we'll be asking a lot of questions. Why this housing bill was introduced? So I want to go direct and give you an outline of today's politics. So most of Kenyans, and I was today doing a lot of analytics with one of the best political adjays. So he told me that when it comes to politics, this housing bill definitely will make this government run into a very bad all because they think that this housing bill is meant for only people who are of salaries. You know, we know that the housing bill receives opposition across Kenya. We know everyone in the country is opposing this bill because they think that someone from remote areas of northern Kenya, someone from remote areas of Ukambani, someone from Kisumu, Konjulu, Nyalenda, how will he or she benefit from this housing bill? So we need to engage that as public participation so that we can know how this bill will be engaged, because it is only by making this bill go viral because every Kenyan want to participate. And again, we know that public participation is one of key things when it comes to laws that are made by the legislature. We know that the legislature is the only arm of government that makes laws. So after it makes laws, then we know that it has to go to public participation so that the Kenyans, the citizens, can give what it entails about this bill. Are they interested with what is being made by the legislature? We know that if the bill or if any law that is made by a Kenyan legislature, if it is not approved by public, then who are they making it for? So it has to go viral so that anyone else in the remote areas, anyone who has his opinions, when we have the opinions being collected, now we'll get to analyze if this bill is going to be passed or is it going to be rejected. And again, we know that when it comes to yeah. We have deep areas. You have Kajulu. We have far places whereby this housing bill will not even reach, because if we have Nairobi, of course, we know that we have the big cities, that is Nairobi, Mombasa, Eldoret, Kisumu. So definitely, housing bill will be received well into those areas. But again, when you go to interior parts, for example, when you go to a Marsabit or you go to Isiolo, Garissa, and you tell those mwananchi there, you tell the common mwananchi in those areas that is going and to get that out, definitely is going to ask you a lot of questions, because number one is going to ask you, how will I get this house yet I don't have anything? Because most of people nowadays don't believe with this government, because whatever it introduced, like number one, this housing bill, they always believe that this housing bill will benefit those who have money. Yeah, of course. If you don't have a basic salary, then how are you going to get this money, this housing bill? Of course, if you don't have anything else like resources, because yeah, the bill will focus with people who can pay, because there is a certain amount of money that you can pay, so that every month, so that you can qualify for this housing. So what we need to do is we need to engage public participation. Kenyans need to get to know what is this housing bill, because most of Kenyans have not even gone through this housing bill. They don't know what is this housing bill. How are they going to benefit from it? So a lot of questions have been raised, and again, we know that when it comes to Kenya, we have to involve public participation. And again, today we saw what is happening. I want to cross border. We know what is happening now. We saw Wajakoya. They are shouting. Actually, I have seen a clip. Wajakoya saying that Baba Raila Amolo Odinga is only 18 years, because that shows that Raila Amolo Odinga can even join the political arena again come 2027, even 2032. So they have that trust with Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, and we have seen Minji Minji. Minji Minji was saying that they are ready to back up Rigathi Gachagua. So those are the kind of things that happen. Minji Minji is Katie Waruguru. Katie Waruguru has said that they are ready to back up Rigathi Gachagua, so that he can be the kingpin of Mount Kenya region. And definitely yesterday we saw what was happening. We discussed about the Mount Kenya erupt, and we saw a lot of buildings that are based in Mount Kenya. We know that Mount Kenya is one of the areas that any politician will always focus on them. We know that if you fail to unite Mount Kenya, then you are going to fail when it comes to general election. We have those regions like Mount Kenya, we have the lake regions, those areas you have to focus on them, so that you can make sure that when it comes to general election, then the citizens in those areas can give you 100%, and you are sure that you're going to win the election. You also have the coast region. So yesterday we talked about Mount Kenya region erupting. So we discussed who can become the next kingpin when it comes to Mount Kenya, and we gave a lot of resources when it comes to Mount Kenya region, and you know that that is the only area whereby you can focus with if you are a politician. We discussed about 1992 that Mount Kenya were not united, because that is the time Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, the late president of the Republic of Kenya, he penetrated in between, and back in 1997 again, they were not united. That was the speech that was given by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. He said that 1992, 1997 they were not united, and again when it came to 2002 they got united and they chose Mwai Kibaki, and he led the country for 10 years until 2013. That is when Mwai Kibaki finished his term of being the Kenyan president. Again, after that, they were united again. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, that is the former president, again took over the leadership for Mount Kenya region. So they believe that they are very big community that as a determinant when it comes to political arena, when it comes to +254, that is Kenya. So today, and again, we saw yesterday that a lot of leaders are trying to make sure that they can be the next kingpin when it comes to Mount Kenya. So, and we saw Ketu Aruguru, also known as Miji Miji. She was saying that they are ready to back up Rigathi Gachagua because they believe in him. He can be the next king when it comes to Mount Kenya region. So those are the, again we saw Kalonzo Musyoka today. He was roaring, saying that they are ready to make Zakayo go home back in 2020. That is the come 2027. So they are ready. You know, Kalonzo Musyoka is one of the leaders who are ready so that they can make the president get that sweat. You know, if you're the president and you don't have that opposition when it comes to general election, then definitely you're going to pass. You're going to get that lead again. So what are you going to do? Kalonzo Musyoka said that they are ready to make sure that William Ruto come 2027. He is not going to get it easy. Definitely. Let's wait. You know, it is a matter of time, and we know that when it comes to time, you always dictate what will happen. So come 2027, a lot of leaders are saying that Kalonzo Musyoka is ready. And again, a lot of the comments are saying people want to know who is Kalonzo Musyoka because he cannot even win the country by just liaising with Kamba region, that is Kitui, Machakos, and Makueni. You need to go all around because all Kenyans are going to elect him come 2027. If he only has that stand that he is ready to vie for the presidency come 2027, that is the Right Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, who is one of the leaders who are vying and is ready to take over after we saw that he want to be the successor come 2027 for Right Honorable Laila Molo Odinga. So they are ready. And Kalonzo Musyoka, a lot of leaders are trying to back him up. They see now it's time to back up Kalonzo Musyoka to be the successor when it comes to uh, Azimio Party. He has been loyal to Azimio. He has been supporting Azimio for a quite long time. And now is the time, Right Honorable Laila Molo Odinga, to support Wiper Democratic Movement leader who is Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo Musyoka, we know that he has been the deputy president for Kenya for 10 years. He has been there since the Mwai Kibaki era. He has been in politics for quite a long time because he said, I remember one time he said that he's going to be penetrating in between the leaders. And again, he became the vice president those days. And again, now he has been a good leader, as most Kenyans say that he is soft. I don't know why most of Kenyans refer to Kalonzo Musyoka is soft. But again, we want to know why most of Kenya believe to him as soft. Because I believe Kalonzo Musyoka, he can be a good leader when it comes to a presidency seat here in Kenya, because he is a polite guy and he understands politics for in deep manner. So I think Right Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka can be a good president come 2027. But again, Kenyans are saying they want to see Kalonzo Musyoka moving all around, going merry-go-round. If you want to go to northeastern Kenya, if you want to go to Mombasa, he want to go to central Kenya, so that he can make himself be known by the citizen. Because we know that Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, even the small children, even the small guys there who are in lower primary nowadays, we have kindergarten. They know who is Raila Amolo Odinga because he is a very key element when it comes to Kenyan politics, and he has been a very good leader, and people term him as the president of the people. We have the president of Kenya, and again we have the president of the people, who is Raila Amolo Odinga. So here I can see comments coming from Timina Acheno. He's saying, Timina Acheno is saying, watching your channel here in Nairobi. Welcome to Afrique 24, and here we always unlock stories from all over the world, because it is here where we are going to give you what it entails in terms of politics, sports, and again, everything what it entails. So Good Year is saying, in person, Kalonzo Musyoka is a great guy. He needs to be heavyweight and turn Kenyan tourist guy. Turn a Kenya tourist guy by going up and down if he has to win. That is a comment from Good Year. He's saying that Kalonzo Musyoka needs to move around. He needs to be a heavyweight. We saw what happened to the President William Ruto when there was those crisis between him and his former boss, Uhuru Kenyatta. That is the time Uhuru, they had those differences with the president, who is now the president. He started directly engaging the citizens. Kenyans needed to know who is William Ruto. And we saw the interaction between William Ruto and the citizens, because at times William Ruto could go into every part. And again, he took time so that Kenyans can understand. And we know that towards general election, that was back in 2022, even schools were saying that they're going to support William Ruto, because he was very key. He made sure that he interacted with everyone in the country. We saw that William Ruto was even moving around, and when he gets those hustlers, there is this term known as hustler. So everyone was singing hustler. So it had already saturated, it has already synced into the minds of the Kenyans that they're going to vote for acceleration come 2027. And Kenyans took that part in general election and elected William Samoei Ruto. That is now we are having him as the president. But most of Kenyans say that the election were ranked, and we don't know, because you don't know what happened. And this is a thing that is only known by the high EBC, that is the Independent Electoral Board of Kenya, that is the IEBC, that is the holy board that knows what happened. But again, William Ruto made sure that every part of the country knows who is William Ruto, because he went to north, south, east, west. And again, he made sure that people know his manifesto, because number one, people knew his number is that when he gets into this presidency, then he will make sure that the common mwananchi who is Mama Boga, we know that Mama Boga is one of common mwananchi. That is the lowest economic activity that one can gain. That you have that 200 bob, you have that 100 shilling, then you go there and start your grocery. So he made sure that Mama Boga will be in touch when it comes to the government. And we say that it is only by time that Mama Boga will be recognized and will be made sure that he or she, of course, gets what it entails and the support from the government. So that is what William Ruto, he made sure that Kenyans know who is him. So come back in 2027, Kalonzo needs to do a lot of effort. And again, we saw there are differences when it comes to as Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. There is a lot of things that are encroaching. Who will be the next successor? If Kalonzo, and we also know there is a lot of leaders who want to join and take over. But the question is, do they have that ability to be like Raila Amolo Odinga? Do they have that capacity so that the Kenyans can obey the way they obeyed Raila Amolo Odinga? If only Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga is going to join AU as the chairman. So we saw the housing bill has raised a lot of eyebrows when it comes to leaders a lot of leaders are opposing, others are making sure that this bill is not going to sign through. So they're making sure that if this bill goes through, then a lot of Kenyans will be in a problem. So here in Africa 4 today, we are focusing with the housing bill. How do you perceive this housing bill? Because we know that housing bill has been a major problem in our political arena. People are saying that this bill is not constitutionally. And I listened to Tom Ojenda saying that this bill is not constitutional, and that it was his comments, not Africa 4. So my name is Boniface, and I welcome you wherever you're tuning so that you can enjoy this wonderful conversation here. You can also share your comment in Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube so that we can also get enlightened, because your comment will be read here live. Thank you, good year, for being here every time, and we are going to make sure that this show runs smoothly up till to the end. So I want to play a short clip here so that you can tell me if this is true, or we are just going to.
I was looking at the numbers, today. Japan, their tax as a percentage of GDP is at 34.8%. In Kenya, we are at 15, less than half what it is here. If we have to develop our country, Kenyans must roll up their sleeves and develop their country. Our country is not going to be developed by others. Our country is not going to be developed by aid. Our country is not going to be developed by debt. Our country is going to be developed by us. Japan is built by the Japanese using their own taxes. Kenya will be built by Kenya using our own revenues and our own taxes. That is a statement that we must tell each other. The one thing that I have committed myself to do is that we must then provide a guarantee that every Kenyan who pays for whatever service or pays whatever tax, that money should not be stolen by anybody. So long as we collect whatever tax we are collecting and we use it to grow our country, it is going to benefit us eventually. The one thing we must never do, and I will not do as president, is to say that there will be free lunch, that the country is going to be developed by borrowing money from other people, that the money is going to, that Kenya is going to be developed by others, and that it's going to cost us nothing to develop our country. That one I will not do, and I will not encourage you to do. And that is why I don't mind, People call me names. But you see, when you are doing the right thing, your conscience is clear that you are doing the right thing. And I will do the right thing for our country, irrespective of what names people call me, including Zagaya.
Yeah. That is the president of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, is saying that Kenya will be built by only Kenyans. So we are not going to depend with other countries. We are not going to depend with Japan. We're not going to depend to USA. We are not going to depend to United Kingdom so that we can develop our country. And through this development, we know that he has the plans to make sure that the slums in Kibera and the slums in Kariobangi and all other places that have slums, they are going to be made sure that we develop those slums to a big apartments or a good place. For example, that is a housing bill that we're going to make sure that we have houses available to every part of the country. So I think President William Ruto said that it's only by us, because it's only by paying taxes that is the tax that Kenyans will pay, that they will engage them into that housing bill, so that they can build houses, they can make sure that they are available housing, and Kenyans will benefit from this bill. So President said that he is ready, even if you call him a lot of names. People, he is saying that in that clip that people are calling him Zakayo. So I don't think he's saying Zakayo. So Zakayo, maybe people call him that, but again, he's ready. I know President William Ruto is one of the leaders who are always doing what it entails. So he's saying that he's not bothered whether you do what or what, but again, his work is to make sure that the country uh, goes on well, and we build our country, and we move forward so that we can achieve the vision 2030. And we know that now we are in the year 2024. We only have 6 years. So vision 2030, actually that one, if President William Ruto will get the second term, he'll be in the third year, that come 2030. So we need to improve our country so that we can achieve the vision 2030. So he's saying that you want to make sure that everything that entails our country that is going to be in the right order. And we're going to make sure that the country develops. The housing bill, yeah, it is the big problem that people are saying it is not going to benefit a lot of Kenyans, but President has the ideas that this housing bill is going to make sure that every citizen will get that housing. So the question is, how are Kenyans going to benefit from this? I'm going to read the comments here, and Goodia is saying Kalonzo has to move faster because DP Gachagua is moving faster already in like a year sports. Yeah, we saw Honorable Kate Waruguru, also known as Minji. He was saying that they are ready to back up DP Gachagua, and we know that it's very early. This is the second year that the government now needs to stabilize. They need to make sure that they manifest, so that they promise to Kenyans that they are going to be placed in order. But again, the question is it the matter of time? Because the first year Kenyans were crying, the second year now they're crying. So when will the Kenyans' voice be heard? So that is the only question that we need to ask. So I say, good year, I'm loving William Ruto's sense of humor. But again, William Ruto is one of the presidents that he can intermingle with anyone, because I have seen him last 2 days doing some press ups, and a lot of Kenyans during that launch for the AFCON stadium. We know that in 2027 that we have the Pamoja bid, and the Pamoja bid will be Africa, East Africa, that is Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, hosting the AFCON come 2027, and they were launching that sports ground. And we saw President William Ruto doing press ups and also shooting the ball. And most of Kenyans were impressed because they never knew that President William Ruto can go up to 15 press ups. And again, that was amazing when it comes to those who love sports. And again, we saw what happened, and he is making sure that every dimension of this country is going to be in the right order, because he's supporting CS for Sports, who is Ababu Namwamba. So he was there, and they launched that stadium so that AFCON will be in a good place come 2027. There's an argument that Uganda is ready. They have that big stadium. Tanzania, they have the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium that is very ready for the AFCON. But in Kenya, we have several stadiums that is Kasarani. We also have Nyayo Stadium. But we need to have a standardized stadium that can host AFCON, because we know AFCON is a big tournament here in Africa. But again, if you want to deep more into sports, always watch our Dimba Afrique every Saturday from 12 noon time, that is East Africa. I personally, I will be hosting Dimba Afrique here so that we can tell you more about the sports. You're saying he loves the sense of humor from the president. So, but the president is very good when it comes to interacting with people. He knows when to interact with people, and most of Kenyans like when those top leaders they interact them in the right way. And he's saying he appreciates his pet named Zakar. Yeah. He's saying he appreciates his pet name Zakayo. I don't think he appreciates it in the right way, because we know that Zakayo, when it comes to tax collection, he was one of the people who came and made sure that every place he goes, that tax has to be collected. So, but again, President is saying that he has the methodology so that he can make sure that the country goes on well. He has those strategies that make sure that the country can move on, and it is only by the tax, because if we don't have tax collection, then how are we going to get the revenues? How are we going to improve the country? So he believes that through tax, then we're going to make sure the country goes on well, and we move to the next generation, because we know that we are changing the world from analog time to digital space, and we know that it's only by digital space that these slums that we have, and a lot of people they don't have this housing. President is having the belief that we are going to make sure that this one goes on and we get the best housing. So, but former president, we saw his comment. He's saying that he is just monitoring, but again, someone who has the steering has to make sure that it goes on well, because he is the driver. So he was trying to act contrarily to what President William Ruto is doing. Let's see what former president is saying.
Angalia dunia tu. Wengine naangalia, unashika kichwa unasema gaiwi ito Jehova. Wengine unajiuliza ni kulia, wengine unacheka. Lakini Kenya ni nyumbani tu. Tunaendelea, tunatakia wale wako mema. Lakini wakati nilikuwa kwa uongozi, nilikuwa naambia watu kitu kimoja. Kama wewe ni kiongozi, kama wewe ndio umepatiwa steering wheel ya kuendesha, kama ni kaunti ya Nyandarua, kama ni constituency hii, kama ni nchi ya Kenya, pale popote, kama wewe ni kiongozi wa maana, kiongozi wa maana anashika steering wheel, anaangalia mbele. Sio kila saa kuangalia rear view ati ametoka wapi. Unaangalia mbele. Ukiwa mtu wa kuendesha ukiangalia rear view mirror, wewe ni mtu wa kupeleka gari katika leo ni kuingia mtaro. Wageko ni murenda gutongoria bururi. Rora imbere mumenye kuria muratwara. Omwatira na juku na ige na maundu matari kuria mari. Hakuna pahali mnaenda, hakuna pahali mnapeleka nchi. Nchi inataka viongozi ambao wako na maono ya mbele, kwa sababu hiyo ndio itakuwa ya manufaa kutatua shida zile Wakenya wako nazo.
You can see the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is acting contrary to what President William Ruto is doing, because he's saying that nchi inataka watu wako na maono. So I don't think whether former president is trying to mean that if President William Ruto, the steering is not ready for him, he is not a good driver. So those are the kind of questions we are asking. But again, those are rhetorical questions, because he's asking if you are the leader, then you have to make sure that the country goes on well. If you are the leader, you have to make sure that everything that entails the country is incorporated in the right way. That is the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and he's saying that yeye akiangalia tu hivi anaona tu mambo yendi vizuri. But again, as we saw that clip from the president William Samoei Ruto, is saying that he is ready and he can make sure that the country moves on in the right direction, because he want to make sure that we as Kenyans, we participate in every dimension so that we can make sure the country moves forward in the right way, because you want to make sure that anything that enters the country is incorporated in the right way, because it is through this housing bill that the president has the belief that if every Kenyan is going to get the house, then definitely we are going to make do away with this poor housing. But again, is this housing going to benefit Kenyans? Are we going to get employment from this housing? Are Kenyans going to get food from this housing? Are Kenyans going to benefit in any other way? Because we know that Kenyans nowadays, those staying in slums, they always go there during the night to sleep, because they have their actual daily activities that they do so that they can get their daily bread. So uh, any Kenyan who is going to get the house, are they going to stay in the house daily, or how are they going to benefit? Because we know that you have to raise a certain amount so that you can get those houses. So I want to read the comment here. And Good Year is saying, I loved his press ups. I was impressed. He can represent us in any sports. Why don't Kenyans always fail to qualify to World Cup football, African Cups? I think I'm going to chip into this question because it is one of the tactical questions. If only you missed Dimba Afrik, but again, President William Ruto, we know that he is a great supporter for Manchester United. That was, by the way, we know what happened today in Manchester Derby. But again, when it comes to football, he chose CS Abomna Mwamba so that he can represent our sports ministry. And again, we have been seeing that the CAF, when it comes to sports, has been very smooth since entrance of CS Abomna Mwamba, because Abomna Mwamba, I think he understands well when it comes to football and matters of football. And that's why we are trying so that we can match those other countries that do well in the African football. And President doing those press ups impressed a lot of people, and Kenyans and also all over the world. We are very happy to see President doing those press ups. But again, the question from Good Year here is saying, why don't we qualify for World Cup football and African Cups? So this is a big question that needs to be talked when it comes to Dimba Africa. But again, African football is very competitive, but we need to make sure that we utilize any talent that is found in our country, because we need to make sure that we engage our Kenyans when it comes to football coaching. Because when it comes to football, now in Kenya we have Eugene Ferrati. Eugene Ferrati is the head coach for Harambee Stars. Eugene Ferrati, do you think Eugene Ferrati can go to Western so that he can schedule what is happening to Moroni Youth and Kakamega Homeboys, or what is happening in Shabana KC or Muranga Seals? He is already he always stays in Nairobi so that he can match and wait when it comes to international football to go and pick Michael Lunga, Benson Omala, and the likes of Musa Juma and Okello, so that they can represent our country. But again, African football is very competitive, but in Kenya, so that we can match those competition, we need to put more effort and again focus with the academy that we have in our country. So if you want to, Good Year is saying, if you want good services, then the only way is to pay tax. We can't rely on countries to give handouts. Yeah, we know that a country only develops if the citizens of the country pays tax. We know that it is through taxation that we get the money. Because if you don't have tax, then how are we going to develop the country? How is the government going to get money? Because we know that taxation is one of the ways that the government gets money. And the common mwananchi, if you are you have that business of selling miraa, you have the business of selling wines and spirit, you have the business of selling anything else that it entails a business. So it is only by this that you have to be licensed by the government, and it is through this licensing that we're going to pay taxes, and through taxation that the government now it collects the money so that the money can now be used in development activities. We know that Kenya, we are in the third world country. We need to match those developed countries. In Africa, we know some countries have developed a lot. We can talk about South Africa. South Africa, when you go to Cape Town, and again when you go to Drakensberg or any other place in South Africa, you'll know that this country is developing, and it is a developed country because South Africa, we know that in 2010 hosted Africa Cup of hosted World Cup, and it is not easy for a country to host World Cup because this is a world competition. What does that mean? It means that this country has developed. So in Kenya, so that you can match those countries that can be uh, benchmarked by Africa, whole world, we need to make sure that we focus with the development. And the President William Ruto is sure that this housing bill will make sure that the country matches those countries, because if we have every part with available housing and a housing that can be accommodated in a certain way, then we are going to match those countries. So Kenyans need to pay taxes. That is the comment from Goodia is saying Kenyans need to pay taxes, because it is only by paying taxes that we will be able to move on as a country. We will be able to focus with the development activities that entails our country. So it's saying, I think I always watch Dimba. Yeah. When you want to know what happens in sports, then always focus with Dimba Afrique, that is found here in Afrique 2-4. So this is a political show, and I'm your host today, Boniface Kimanzi. So I want to give you a brief of what we do here in Afrique, because we know that in Afrique, we always make sure that you are comfortable in any way that you want to express yourself here in Dimba. We always make sure that you are comfortable. I want to show you what we do here, and in case you need what we do, then you can see this clip that is happening in a short while. Yeah. This is Noel's worldwide fish deliveries. So we always deliver in every part of the country. Either you want them in fried, want them in dried, smoked, or fresh. Make sure you contact Noel's worldwide fish deliveries so that you can get those fish in the entire world. When you want to get those fish, either you are in Kenya, you are in USA, Canada, you are in UK, Japan, you are in Middle East countries, Dubai. You know, a lot of Kenyans there who go to work in those places, they suffer a lot, because when you go there, you have to consume what they use. But again, if you want to get the best fish, then you can consult Noel's worldwide, and then you will be sorted in the right way. That was a break. And again, as we go back to what you're doing, I want to read the comment here from Goodia. She's saying South Africa was behind Kenya. Now we are behind them. It all depends with how developments are being encompassed when it comes to the government, and how serious is the country when it comes to matching the developed countries. And we know that in Kenya, we are a third world country, but the development in our country takes on slowly. So we always saw what happened today. We saw that Rigathi Gachagua, he was saying that he is ready to be the next king when it comes to a Mount Kenya region. Rigathi Gachagua, again, we saw he was not happy with the relationship between William Ruto and Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. He was saying that There we don't want to engage you in our government. You have been to the government for a long time, and whenever you are in the government, all things go astray. That was the voice from DP Rigathi Gachagua after that relationship between William Samoei Ruto and the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. So we know that all the countries in Africa are focusing with this AU job, and we know that when it comes to AU, then we want to make our kingpin. We know that he has been the kingpin of opposition. That is Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila Amolo Odinga has been one of the leaders who has been trusted by a lot of Kenyans when it comes to opposition. So are we ready to support Raila Amolo Odinga when it comes to African Union job? Because we know that a lot of East African presidents, we know that Mama Samia Suluhu, that is the president of Tanzania, has the support to give Raila Amolo Odinga. We know that our president here, William Ruto, is already in acceptance to support Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. So if he joins, then definitely it will be a tough game come 2027, because William Ruto will have a easy time to win the election, because who again is going to give the competitive power like what was given by Raila Amolo Odinga? Is it Kalonzo Musyoka, or is it any other leader who is going to be appointed as the kingpin of Azimio, or is it going to be Martha Karua? We know that we saw what was happening in Oma Bay. We saw President saying that governors in we have the G7. We have the G7. The governance that is headed by women leaders. We have the governor of Nakuru. We also have the governors in Kirinyaga. We also have the governors who are making sure that everything goes on well. We saw the President William Ruto congratulating them, saying that Kenyans, if you have that power, if you see you have that capacity to support any woman who vies for the governor, make sure you don't miss that chance, because he congratulated them, saying that they are doing a good job, and they are making sure that everything in their counties moves on well. We saw that celebration, that meeting was hosted by Gladys Wanga, so who has been doing a lot of good job when it comes to East Country development. So President congratulated them, saying that women are doing a very fantastic job when it comes to leadership, and the Kenyans were requested by the president, don't miss this chance when it comes to voting when you have a woman, leader. Do you believe women's are doing a good job when it comes to leadership? The likes of Gladys Wanga, the likes of Governor Susan Kika, are they doing a good job? And do you think Kenyans will get impressed? Because we know that Mama, when you are headed by Mama, then definitely things goes on well. We saw what was happening in Kitui County, Governor Kaluki Kilo, but again he was spotted in Oma Bay, Governor Ngilo. She said that she has been away from politics, but again she is back. But he posed a question there that was very tough, and she asked Raila Amolo Odinga, Baba, umetupangia aje? Because alisema aliwapanga vizuri pale mwaka wa 2002 and 2007, and now Kaluki Ngilu, after seeing the relationship between Raila Amolo Odinga and William Samoei Ruto, she asked, what is the plan of Raila Amolo Odinga and to the opposition? Because you know that there are loyal political leaders who have been so close to Baba since opposition, and they are still up to this end supporting Raila Amolo Odinga. So she asked Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, what is the plan to the opposition? So Kenyans were very happy by President congratulating the women leadership in that meetings that were held in Homa Bay. So we know that women have been doing a good job, and we also have the women reps in our country. The new constitution has already entered that women will be very good leaders, because you have the women reps. Every county has the women rep. Women rep is to make sure that everything that entails women's and every situation that will make women in use, then they have their representative. Good years, he is saying women are the torch in everything. They are tough and great leaders because of their maternal. So he's saying women are torch in everything. Yeah, we have been seeing what is happening in Homa Bay County. We have seen the kind of development that Gladys Wanga is doing. She has been doing a very good job and a fantastic job. And we know that when women are in power, they always make sure that they make use of every resources. They make use of everything because they want to be the next leaders. And again, counties that are headed by the women, we can see the differences with counties that are headed by men. They say that what men can do, women can do better. So I think President William Ruto wanted to prove that what men can do, even women can do better. So that was a meeting that was held in Homa Bay last week, and that was a very good meeting because we saw a lot of leaders being spotted there. We also saw Senator Otieno Kajwang, who was very friendly when it comes to that meeting. He said that they are ready now to support the government. And you saw last year, some few months ago, that Senator Otieno Kajwang is one of the leaders who were very harsh to the government. But again, after that meeting, he congratulated and welcomed the President of the Republic of Kenya, who is William Ruto, in a very good way and a peaceful way, that they are ready to support the government. So we know these are politics, and when it comes to politics, you have to be camouflage. You know, you have to be camouflage. We don't know whether the government of William Ruto is being camouflaged. You know, you can leaders can be camouflaging, saying that the government will be making use of anything, but again, the government will not be performing to their best. So we don't know if the leaders in that meeting that was held in Homa Bay were camouflaging the government, because every leader there in Homa Bay was talking good things when it comes to government. And we know that Homa Bay is a center for a Lake region. We know that the Lake region is headed by Azimio Party, who is Raila Amolo Odinga. And William Ruto trying to capture that region, then it shows that come 2027, he will be able to win this election. But again, if only he gives support to Raila Amolo Odinga to win come 2027. So that was the meeting that was held in Homa Bay the last week. Here is Africa 24, and we are talking about the housing bill, because this housing bill is one of the areas that the government believes that we are going to make use and develop the country. So we know that most of people believe this housing bill is unconstitutional, and people are talking more when it comes to this housing bill. And again, who will be a beneficiary of this housing bill? Kenyans, are they going to get employment? And the Kenyans going to be assured that if they get this bill, are they going to pass it, and are they going to benefit it in the right way? So we saw Uhuru Kenyatta saying that he believes that the government is not going in the right direction, considering that he was the president formerly, and he has been there for the 10 years. But again, he knows the heavyweight that is there. William Ruto, he was the first president to vie for the first time and win the election. So William Ruto, after the differences between him and the boss, he believed that he can win the election, and that is why, after winning the election, he always believed that it is by prayer that anything can happen, because if it was not by prayers, he believes that he could not have won the election. Those are the comments from one of ours here, saying that prayers are one of the good things that make things go in order. And again, we know that praying is good and makes you close to what you want to do. So we need to develop the country so that we can merge those countries that are doing well. We know that when you go to countries like Rwanda, Burundi, when you go to countries like Tanzania, Tanzania recently has been doing well. We know that leadership of Mama Samia Suluhu out there has been one of good, and we have been talking about the women in leadership. Mama Samia Suluhu in Tanzania has been doing a very good job, and she has been making sure that everything in the country moves on well, and that is a good reference to women in leadership. We also know that the countries in Central Africa, the DRC Congo, the countries in West Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, countries like Senegal, they have a lot of development that are taking place. We know that Nigeria is one of the highly populated country that has a lot of people, and Nigeria has a lot of slums. If you go to Nigeria, you will discover that Kenya is doing well. But again, despite their highly population, then they are doing well so that they can merge with those developing countries. When you move to North Africa, like Egypt and Algeria, those countries are doing well when it comes to development. Countries like Tunisia, countries like Morocco, they are doing very well, and that's why we need to move forward. And the president is ready to make sure that the country moves on well. Again, we have been seeing what happened to Olusegun Obasanjo, who came to the country so that he can make those by talks between the president and Raila Amolo Odinga, and that was during the Mandamano time. You know that the president has that ability to make sure everything goes on well. Here is regarding about turn on farm produce. We saw a lot of things are happening. We saw last 2 weeks that a lot of farming produce has been declined to export. We saw that avocados in our country, which we export to overseas countries, we have been declining our avocados. Also, we saw in Mwea, where we grew rice. We have rice in Mwea. We have the Mwea Tembere irrigation scheme whereby rice is grown there. So they said that the inorganic fertilizers that we use there is one of the bad things, and they have negative effects when it comes to crops that we grow, because the inorganic fertilizers that we have, then it will be affecting those crops. For example, the rice. So the tax. We also have the country president, that is William Samoei Ruto, has that manifesto that says that when we have the high productivity in the country, then definitely we'll cut the cost of importing food crops or cash crop from away. That is, we have been importing maize from Mexico, so we need to make use of our field. We need to make use of the lands, because it is only by this that we are going to cut those costs. So and make sure the country goes on well. We know that the country citizens are not having that certification when it comes to economy, then definitely they are going to complain. So they want to invest in farming, because they said that they want to make sure that the fertilizers prices are going to be lower. But again, we saw CIFA saying that that is one of the organizations that said that they want to make use of organic, that is the organic fertilizers. Despite that, inorganic, inorganic fertilizers, it is one that we got it from the uh, shops, but I want to make use of A's. We need to make use of A's and other organic fertilizers so that we can make our crops go on well. Perinyakaka, hello. Welcome to Africa 24, and I think you can join so that we can have this discussion here and we pioneer, because this is Africa 24 and I'm your host today, Boniface Kimanzi. So we have seen President William Ruto doing a lot of development because he want to make sure that the country goes on well. You want to make sure that everything in our country goes on in the right direction. Good year is saying, why are they charging farmers high bill to enter the county shop to showcase their produce to investors? I think this is one of the big questions that needs to be handled in the right way, because our farmers have everything that they can show, and they are doing a good job. And if they only lower it, then definitely we are going to make use of our produce. That again, the high bill, as Goodyear has said, that the bill is so high. And again, we know that farmers focus only on making sure that the productivity in our country, because if the country we don't have production, then definitely we're going to be a very messy country. Because if the farm produce, what we produce in our farms is not sufficient for the country, definitely there will be a lot of starvation. And again, we know that the citizens, if I was the President William Ruto, then definitely I will lower this bill, because we know that if we have maize, we have and we have other farm products that come from farms, that because when the farmers give us their produce, then definitely we're not going to rely with other countries that give us those crops. We need to produce our own, and we know that the weather has changed. So the president, through this showcasing, then they need to lower the bill. Again, this is a good question, because if they lower the bill, then definitely we are going to get what the farmers produce in the beyond the scene, because we have a lot of things that are taking place in the country, and it's only by this that we are going to make use of our products. So that was Rigathi Gachagua saying that the tax for farm produce is going to be high. That was a U-turn, and we expected the country, because they said that the fertilizers will be given freely. And again, where are these fertilizers? Because as we saw that they said during the election that we are going to make sure that if it is Kericho, if it is the highland regions where we get the coffee, island regions like Kirinyaga, where we get tea, we are going to make sure that fertilizers are well supplied so that they can pamper and make our crops grow on well and healthy. So DP made a U-turn. That was a U-turn, because if the tax goes high, then the farmers will get a lot of disappointment, so that the turn of farm produce goes high, then it will be very tough. So this was after backlash from growers. Governance rethinks controversial taxes on farm produce, which the administration rammed through Parliament under the Finance Act, says Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. So that was the say from the DP Rigathi Gachagua, and we know that if we don't have a lot of crop production in the country, then definitely we are going to be a total mess. So the LC bill is one of the major things that has been lowering in our country, because if you don't have, I think Kenyans nowadays, they believe that they need to just eat, relax, and they go to work. Because if you tell a common mwananchi there that there is a plan that he is going to get, he or she is going to get the house, he will ask you, where is this house going to benefit me? Am I going to get employment from the house? Am I going to be a beneficiary for this house? Or am I going to make to be able to earn living from staying in the house from morning to the evening. So those are the kind of rhetorical questions that a lot of Kenyans are asking themselves. And when it comes to rhetorical questions, we don't answer. We always leave them to the relevant authorities so that they can feature and give us the best results. So here is Afrique 24 a TV, and this is a political show. My name is Boniface Kimanzi. I'm the host today, and I welcome you to give me your comments and in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're watching, you can share your comment, and I will be reading it here live so that you can see what we do, and you can also give your contribution when it comes to political arena. So, and again, here we have a lot of things that happens in every Fridays. In every Fridays, we have a very good show that is a bed of roses. A bed of roses is whereby we discuss what happens in bed. We discuss what happens in terms of family, because we need to focus on family matters, because if we don't know what happens at the end of the day, we need to be a peaceful country and we need to be a peaceful Kenyans. So in Bed of Roses, that is where you will get a lot of knowledge when it comes to making sure that your country, no, your family goes on well, because you, at the end of everything, you have to be a successor. And as we see William Ruto and trying to push for Raila Amolo Odinga to take over AU chairmanship, then the successor is either Kalonzo Musyoka. Here now in bed reference in every dimension, you have to make sure that your bed is in the right direction. See what we do in Bed of Roses.
Join us every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for a captivating journey into the world of love, relationships, and romance, presented by the dynamic trio Maggie Knox, MC Jesse, and Annie Waweru. Bed of Roses promises to be your weekly dose of heartwarming stories, insightful discussions, and expert advice on matters of the heart. Whether you're single, in a relationship, or simply love a good love story, this is the show for you. Don't miss out on the chance to unwind and indulge in the joys and challenges of love, all brought to you by our talented hosts. Tune into Afrique 24 every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. and let us guide you through the enchanting world of Bed of Roses. Subscribe now and mark your calendars. You don't want to miss this. See you there.
Yeah. If you want to make your bed in the right way, then here in Afrique 24, it is where you are going to get those ideas. Build ideas and give you the best way so that we can make your things go on in the right way.
The ruling United Democratic Alliance, or UDA party, has formally expressed support for opposition leader Raila Odinga's bid for the African Union Commission chairperson's position. Now, UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala heaped praise on the Azimio La Umoja One Kenya coalition party boss, terming him a true Pan-Africanist. Malala said that the President Ruto party resolved to back Mr. Odinga's bid was not a political decision, but rather a patriotic one made to raise the country's profile and image on the continental scene. Kenya Kwanza will retreat tomorrow to Naivasha for a joint parliamentary group meeting chaired by party leader President William Ruto to, among others, take a position on backing Odinga for an AU job.
And as a coalition and as a party, specifically the ruling party, UDA, we have decided to put our foot down and support Raila Odinga from the sky, on the land, in the sea, whichever place and whatever avenue that we may be having, we will put our resources to support the candidature of Raila Amolo Odinga.
Raila was on the forefront of the greatest leaders who have championed the entrenchment of the tenets of democracy and the rule of law. Today, as the continent goes into deep waters, seeking the emancipation from perpetual dependency on external supports. A man of his stature has the capacity to chart our path and that of Africa to great height. In my capacity as the Secretary General of the ruling party, I wholeheartedly support his bid. I also urge our party supporters and our general membership to support his candidature.
Yeah, that was UDA leaders supporting Raila Amolo Odinga because they believe that he is ready to vie for the AU chairman come 20, that is come AU leadership. You want to lead the country, the continent entirely. So we saw what was happening today. Wajakoya, who is the leader in our country, saying that William Ruto is trying to be cunning. I don't know what he was saying, but he was saying he's trying to be cunning. He want to make use of this opportunity so that he can get a very easy time come 2027. One Jakoya was saying that he believes that Raila Amolo Odinga is only 18 years, so he is ready to vie for president come 2027. And we saw those top leaders from the UDA, that is Senator, that is Secretary General Cleophas Marara supporting Raila Amolo Odinga. So this shows that they are ready to give what it is to supporting Raila Amolo Odinga to this AU job. And again, are they genuine when it comes to supporting Raila Amolo Odinga, or they want to make use of that chance so that they can win the election come 2027? That is the question that I'm asking. You can share your comment in my YouTube, that is Afrique24. You can share again to our Facebook, that is Afrique24, Instagram Afrique24, and Twitter, that is Afrique24. So the Kenyans have been asking a lot of questions. They want to ask why is Raila Amolo Odinga leaving this early, and they believe in him in every dimension. So a lot of things have been going all around due to this position that encroach in AU chairman, who is Raila Amolo Odinga vying, and he believes that he can win this seat and represent the entire continent. But again, the big question is, why is Raila Amolo Odinga leaving the country in this situation? People believe that he is the only way he is the only one who can make this country go on well by or being a biggest opposition. But again, are those other leaders being entered so that they cannot lead the country? Will they be always relying on Raila Amolo Odinga? So that is the big question that we always ask as we pioneer. This is Afrique24, and this is a political arena. You can share your comments in our social media platform so that you can contribute your ideas here, and we talk here in the right way. So what we say is Raila Amolo Odinga has that capacity so that he can lead the country. So it is only by being supported, because without the support from the president, now here it moves from being a local politician now to an international politician, because here now it will be support from other presidents. For example, Kenya presidents, Tanzania, Uganda, Mozambique, Zambia, South Africa. They need to support him. He need to move in all those countries so that he can get the support from those presidents so that he can win the election. And we also saw that other leaders in Azimio, the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, were supporting this bill that says that William Ruto has this ability to support Raila Amolo Odinga to win. And we saw Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, and other leaders holding a conference so that they can give their comments when it comes to Raila Amolo Odinga being associated with the AU chairmanship. And my big question is, are all those leaders willing to support Raila Amolo Odinga, or they want him to join AU so that they can take over as the leaders who will be representing Azimio? That is the biggest question that I always ask. So I want to play a clip here whereby Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua and other leaders held a conference last 2 weeks so that they can support Raila Amolo Odinga due to this position of AU chairmanship.
No, the mother worked on it.
Kama hii ndio wanaona ikiona vizuri ni sawa.
Are they there?
Are we? Mko tayari?
As always, the ability to convert places not known. Very phenomenal. Look at this. I don't know. We'll discuss. You make them all of a sudden a very unique place.
Yeah,
It is.
David, kujene bana. Then you can.
When it is now so many things I will give. You want to start with apologies?
Oh.
Just nini. Tuko set, eh?
That's still setting up. Oh. You can't.
Secular critical
We have a white
statement.
No. Let's. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks nice. Yeah. So are we ready now? We begin by thanking you for. We have something to say to you. Before it is said by my brother, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, we have two colleagues who would have wanted to be with us, but were away on other duties. One of them is Honorable Gideon Moi. The other one is, so they are with us in spirit. They're not here, but they share the sentiments we are about. So my brother, go ahead.
This is for immediate release. Today, the 16th of February 2024, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party endorses Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga EGH for chairperson of the African Union AU Commission. Following yesterday's public announcement by our party leader, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, that he will be seeking the support of the African continent in his desire to be the next chairperson of the African Union Commission, we would like to state as follows. Number one, as Azimio Coalition, we welcome and congratulate our party leader for the bold step of putting his name forward for consideration of this most important role to the African continent and its people. We fully support his decision and we shall back his candidature to our fullest capacity. Number two, from the onset, Mr. Odinga has played a crucial and selfless role in the democratization of our nation. His sacrifices towards achieving socio-economic development inclusivity, and stability of our republic are well documented. He has always put Kenya first. These are qualities that we believe are needed for the next chairperson of the AU Commission. Number 3, as you all know, Mr. Odinga has a long-standing history of commitment to Pan-Africanism. We believe that as the AU chairperson, he will leverage his Pan-Africanism vision of identity and inclusivity to achieve, I quote, an integrated, prosperous and peaceful Africa driven by its own citizens and representing a dynamic force in the global arena, end of quote. Number 4, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga has an unparalleled track record of leadership in promoting democratic principles, human rights, and good governance. These qualities make him the most ideal candidate for the position of chairperson of the AU Commission. In addition, Mr. Odinga is a bridge builder with an uncanny ability to unify and foster collaboration among member states. Number 5, in addition, we believe that Mr. Odinga is eminently qualified for the job, having been the AU High Representative for Infrastructure Development. He has traversed the continent, interacted with our people, and understands their wants and their needs. Number 6, we are aware that this is East Africa's turn to head the AU Commission, and we do pray that the East African community, the EAC, will support this bid of one of their most illustrious sons. Number 7, we are confident that Mr. Odinga's candidature for the position of AU chairperson will garner overwhelming support from all corners of the continent. His broad appeal and international name recognition as a statesman committed to Africa's progress makes him the right and best candidate for the job. Number 8, we call on all our compatriots to give bipartisan support and ensure that Mr. Odinga's bid is successful. Mr. Odinga's win will be a win for Kenya, the region, and indeed the continent. Number 9, Azimio remains focused and united on issues close to the people, and we give our assurance of our commitment to always address their concerns. I thank you. Thank you.
Weekend jema.
Tulikuwa tumekubaliana ikiwezekana iwe as very clear as that, bila kuongeza. So
that is a press that was given by Right Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka with Martha Karua there and other leaders for Azimio. They were supporting that that law that William Ruto is supporting, and again they are again supporting Azimio leader Raila Amolo Odinga to take over AU chairmanship. So the question is, are those leaders genuine that they want to support Raila Amolo Odinga, or they want to take this opportunity so that they can feature into the Kenyan politics, and they want to take over? Because we know that being a leader of Azimio is one of the toughest opportunities. So we need to get them there, because that loop needs to be filled. So they gave it all. Do you think Azimio a leader, the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua, they gave that a press so that they can give Raila Amolo Odinga support, and knowing that AU leadership is a continental role, because he has to be taking part in continent, in the entire Africa. But again, in Kenya, to be specific, people wanted to see Raila Amolo Odinga as the president, because we have the loyal followers who has been casting votes for Raila Amolo Odinga for quite a long time. But again, they have not seen him winning the election. Do you think they were supporting it in the right way, or they could even decline Raila Amolo Odinga joining that position so that they can give him that support again in 2027? Because we saw our Jacoya today saying Raila Amolo Odinga is very ready to do another term for presidency, because he believes that he is energetic and he can make everything in order when he vies for presidency come 2027. Those are the big comments that have been lying over the week, and the last 2 weeks we have been seeing every political arenas, every political meeting they have to talk about AU chairmanship, that is Raila Amolo Odinga joining, because that is a big role, and Raila has been a big politician when it comes to the government opposition. He has been pushing every time so that the government can do what it promised to Kenyans. But again, the support from East African president, we saw them meeting in Uganda, the family of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and also the President William Ruto. They met there. Kenyans raised eyebrows because they never believed that these guys can meet in such a kind of situations. And we also saw other Kenyans asking, is Raila qualified? Again, we saw that other Kenyans are saying that Raila is not qualified for this job. Yes, they think that Raila cannot be the presidency of the AU. What do you think? Raila Amolo Odinga is qualified, and is he qualified for that AU job, or he is not qualified? And again, we saw that press given by the UDA Secretary General Cleopas Malala, saying that Raila Amolo Odinga is very qualified to take over as the leader of AU. And again, we also saw other leaders saying that Raila Amolo Odinga and also other citizens, we also common wananchi, giving their ideas when it comes to Raila joining AU and leaving politics in this area. So joining AU means that the local politics, that is the vying for the president of Kenya and also leading opposition, now will not be there. Again, we saw what Raila Amolo Odinga did when he was in Kisii. He said that Addis Ababa is only 2 hours from Nairobi. So if he jets from Nairobi early in the morning, definitely is going to be in Addis Ababa anytime. So he said that he will be ready. And he said that this year he'll be here with Kenyans. Alisema alitakuwa hapa nchi yetu ya Kenya mwaka bado hajaenda mahali. That was comment from Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga when he was at Kisii, where he was hosted by Governor Simba Arati. So others are saying he's not ready. We also saw support from the government. Huda supports Raila Odinga. We saw Huda has been supporting Raila Amolo Odinga for every leader has been supporting him so that he can join, because they believe Raila Amolo Odinga can be the good leader when it comes to AU chairmanship. We saw again that meeting there. It's like these are wazees, panapo wazee hapakosi neno. We saw Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who is the president of the Republic of Uganda. He has been the president for a long time of Uganda. Then we saw those guys. We have Raila Amolo Odinga, President William Ruto there. They are talking, and we know that when they meet, you have to talk something that is sensitive. So, of course, the biggest conversation is Raila Amolo Odinga joining AU as the chairman, and the support from Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, and the entire East Africa will make him the president of AU, because if he has the support from East and Central Africa, then he needs to get support from North Africa, West and the South, and that is all Raila Amolo Odinga joins and leaves local politics to President William Ruto and other leaders who are going to be there. So we also saw this is like a done deal. It's like a deal that is already been accomplished. That if Raila Amolo Odinga is going to join there, then definitely William Samoei Ruto will be a relaxed leader, and he will not be having that pressure from the opposition, because we know only Raila Amolo Odinga can give those rules, and Kenyans abide to them, so that government can do what it promised to Kenyans. We saw them having a good time, and we also saw the relationship moving closer. We saw Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto. Kenyans were talking and saying that it's good for the leaders to come together, and I realized that it is high time that we make sure the government performs to the best, and we carry on the development, because it is only by this that the development take place and the country goes on well. Because if we don't have the development, then it definitely, what is the government be doing? Because if you don't have development like housing, but again we have this issue of housing bill, but again we have a lot of things that the government can do, creating job opportunity. We saw yesterday, President William Ruto, not yesterday, the day after yesterday, we saw President William Ruto saying that they are going to recruit, they are going to create job opportunities. We saw him saying when he met during that conference that was held in Hobby, he said that they are ready as the government to make sure that the youths and those who are unemployed are going to get the jobs, because it's only by getting the jobs that Kenyans will make use of the skills that they have, because who will be giving every person a free service? No, you cannot be given anything for free. You need to work, and the government is ready to create job opportunities for those who are skilled, the literate, and those who are illiterate, so that they can be able to be utilized. Because by giving those skills and the services to the government, then we are going to get money, and that money will be used to develop the country. So those are the things that President William Ruto is making sure that the government will be embracing, so that our country moves on well. And the relationship between those two guys, that is Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto, impressed a lot of Kenyans. We saw them talking, and this one raised a lot of eyebrows. We know that Rigathi Gachagua, the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, has been quiet, but when he talked on Friday, on Thursday he talked, and he said that Mzee, we know you, and you are only the person who makes sure the government does not perform to the best. So we can depict that Rigathi Gachagua has a feeling that Mzee is coming for handshake. Mzee is coming for handshake, and this handshake will be a big nightmare to Rigathi Gachagua, who is the deputy president of Kenya. Let me go to the comments and read the comments. Good is saying, read the body language and the micro acts. This was orchestrated by Azimio Coalition. Yeah, body language is very important. We saw Mother Karua there. We saw Eugene Wamala. We saw Right Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka speaking in that press, and they were talking so that they can give their support to Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, because they believe that Raila Amolo Odinga, if he joins, then he can be the president of AU, and the gap shall be filled. And the question is, who will be filling that gap when it comes to Raila Amolo Odinga quitting the politics? Good is saying Raila Ruto Uhuru knows something that we all don't know. Everything has been planned. He will be back with a big position. I'll wait thing. So that is a comment. I have displayed it on our screen, and he's saying Raila, that is the leader of Azimio, the president of Kenya, William Ruto, Uhuru, knows something that we all don't know. But again, if they know something that we don't know, that will tell you that politics is a mind game, and these politicians always talk behind the scenes, and the Kenyans always take it as serious when They saw politicians throwing arms and also talking behind the backs of others. But again, this is politics. You need to be an article. So if Raila Amolo Odinga, William Ruto, and Uhuru Kenyatta have the plans, then definitely someone here is going to be suffering. Someone here is going to be in hot soup, because if Raila, Ruto, and Uhuru come together, and that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is not involved, then definitely Rigathi Gachagua is going to raise antennae, because you will know that now it's time for me to quit this government, because and again he is the Deputy President, so that's why he is making sure that any friendship that comes in between the president and those two guys, that is William Ruto, Uhuru, and Raila, he has to be cutting them. He said that Deputy President said that we don't have any plans to engage you in our government. He said that Rigathi Gachagua said ameweka security kabisa pale status, ameweka security kila mahali na hakuna mtu anaweza ingililia pale. So what does that mean? It means that he is ready to defend the government, and he is ready to support the government headed by William Samoei Ruto, because he is the deputy president. He said that he is ready to support and make sure that the government moves on well and it delivers the manifesto that it is shared to the citizens. So that is Rigathi Gachagua, who is worried, and he needs to know what is happening. But again, he talked and said he is not ready to engage Raila Amolo Odinga when it comes to the government proceedings. So that was a relationship between William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga that has raised a lot of eyebrows to our country and the entire country. So here is Afrique 24, and I am host today. My name is Boniface Kimanzi, and this is Afrique 24, and we are discussing matters of politics in our country, and also wherever you're watching, either in Kenya, wherever you're watching, either in USA, you're watching in UK, you're watching in Middle East countries, West Africa. Here we always share stories that entails politics and make alignments and keep into light what is good and not good. And that was said when it comes to politics. Afrique 24 is a big platform whereby we are here to enlighten and educate those who are following and those who find our content useful in every dimension. Yes, and we also saw there are a lot of leaders that have raised complaints that they want to take over the leadership from Raila Amolo Odinga. They want to be the kings. We also saw comments that most people are proposing the likes of Baba Wino, Edwin Sifuna, the loyal followers. They are proposing the likes of Baba Wino, Edwin Sifuna, and other leaders so that they can take over the leadership after Raila Amolo Odinga joins the AU. So who is ready? Who is able to join? Who is going to make sure that he can be the next king when it comes to leadership to Azimio? So eyebrows have been raised, and I think this position of AU is one of things that have changed politics when it comes to our country and the entire East Africa. People are focusing on this position because they want to see how it goes. So if these two guys, that William Ruto, Raila Amolo Odinga, and Uhuru Kenyatta, they know anything that we don't know, something hidden, something that is not coming into limelight, that they have something hidden that they will bring it into limelight later, then there will be a big shock, because if they are planning something and this something is not benefiting anyone, then it may benefit most people and it may disadvantage or make use of our country. And we know that our country needs to be moving forward, because President said that he is ready to make the government go on well. He is ready to pioneer, because he took over. He complained and said that he took over the leadership well. The government is not doing well. But again, the question is, this is the first year, the second year, and the Kenyans are still complaining. The Kenyans are still saying that the government is not doing them what they promised. So are the government ready to match what Kenya's interests came into them? Because when they were giving their manifesto, they gave a lot of things. They promised a lot of things to the Kenyans. Kenyans are waiting still, and the common Mama Mboga Pale, who is still there waiting for the support from the government, is saying that the taxes are high, saying that things are not in the right order, but the government is trying to monitor and make sure that everything goes on well. And the president assured us that he is ready to make all things be in right order. But the question is, how long are we going to wait? How long are the citizens going to wait for the development to take place and for the changes to take place? So we know that the relationship between William Ruto and former President Uhuru Kenyatta is not into exposure, because we don't know what happens in behind the scenes. Those two guys have been together for a long time, and maybe they are planning something that is good. Martha Karua will not let this leadership pass her. She's working privately in a yard and let the others fight in public. Definitely, we know that Martha Karua, since election 2022, she has been in Ibana. She has been relaxed posture. She has been so chilly, and she has not been talking about politics. And we saw what was happening back in 2022 when he was supporting Raila Amolo Odinga. He was doing everything to make sure that he supports Raila Amolo Odinga. But again, the question was, how much did she support Raila Amolo Odinga? Because we saw in our own constituency, that was the Gishugu constituency, she gave a little number of votes. But again, if she is working with something that is hidden, then will she be able to vie for the presidency come 2027? Yeah, I am joined by one of our own, Mzalendo, and I want to welcome Mzalendo to this political show so that he can share, because I know he has a lot of ideas when it comes to politics, and he understands politics in the right way, and he can share deep stories that entails politics. Good afternoon, Mzalendo from Nairobi, Kenya. I welcome you to Africa 24 so that you can share with our followers what we always cook every day.
Thank you very much, Boniface.
My name is Mzalendo, as you just heard. Yeah, I've been trying to follow the show, and briefly, can you just come in? Can you please tell me what topic we are discussing? I can see the housing receives opposition across the country or Kenya. I don't know how far that is true, or the housing bill is receiving opposition just in Azimio strongholds. So I'm not very sure whether this statement is correct. First off, but I would say that Parliament passed the housing bill. It is now in the public domain. People are debating about it. There are some areas that were having contradictions in the housing bill that they have taken out there, and the bill is going to Senate. So I think the housing bill will go through. Whether people seem to like it or not like it, it is something that is likely to go through. The government has got an agenda, and it wants to fulfill its agenda. That's all I can say for now. Yeah, Goodyear is asking whether I'm awake now. I was very much awake. It's only that people decided to leave me, to leave the studio running.
Thank you so much, Mzalendo, for joining the studio. And we have been having a quite good time since the start of the show, and we have been doing well. So the problem is how is the public participation useful? Do you think public participation in this bill is going to change anything, or is just a matter of time? And when this housing bill comes back to the parliament, it's going to be passed and it's going to be amended. Do you think this public participation will give any importance to this bill or changes?
You know, that's a requirement by law that any important bill like the housing bill in Kenya should go through public participation. So that is why it was thrown out in the first place. That's why the issue went to court, and the court said that they ought to do public participation. Remember, we have a constitution. We have a constitution in Kenya, and the constitution must be followed to the letter.
Okay.
So the National Assembly passed the housing bill, and with amendments aimed at addressing some of the raised questions by the public, that is you, and stakeholders. So the bill has already been passed in the House. And the reason why it was passed in the House is because it needs to be financed. Yeah. And they wanted to establish a fund for that housing, the Housing Affordable Fund. So that's where we are, Mr. Kimanzi.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Mzalendo. And we know that most Kenyans now are asking their question: how is this bill going to benefit them? how is getting this housing going to make them get job opportunities? How is this housing going to make sure that their daily survival is going to be doing well? So this is the big question, and we know that rhetorically we cannot answer it because we are not the one who are making this bill. But again, those are the kind of things that Kenyans need to know, and the Kenyans need to understand that this housing bill is very deep and detailed. So they need to go and read what it is, this housing bill, because this one will make them understand more about this housing bill. So we always know that the government, as we saw, we heard from the president that he want to make sure that we develop this country from our own without engaging on liaising with the other countries so that you can get loans and other things. Do you think this housing program can benefit our country, can make us develop this country, as the president said?
Now, Kimanzi, what you need to understand first is that we have a president who is who was the vice president in the previous regime. They had got issues that they had not finished, and they needed to settle while he was in the other government. So housing is part of his agenda. And why personally I support the housing bill is because, you know, most of these people have not been homeless. They have not lived in the streets. I have been there, so I know the importance of housing. And as much as they are lamenting, Kenyans are just as selfish, and they don't want to support each other. This bill ideally was meant to support those who are vulnerable, those who can not afford a decent home. I have come in on this screen on many occasions, and asked even those who are complaining about this housing, or those who are listening out there, to have a night in Mathare slums, or to have a night in Kibra, where we have the flying toilets, and just appreciate that night and tell me if these people need a cold or a warm shower, or a cold shower in the morning, or a toilet just to flush in the morning. And then that is when they will come chest thumping and tell us, surely those people in Kibra should live the way they are living. Those people in Mukuru, Kanjenga should continue living in that kind of state. Unless we experience some of these things personally, we will continue saying that we don't need houses, we need food. We don't need houses, we need roads. But look, the ripple effect of housing in the economy. This is a ripple effect of housing in the economy. First, there will be decent employment. Decent employment means that people like people in the construction industry, people in the manufacturing industry, people who are in Mabati rolling mills, people who are in Bamburi cement factory, people who are in the other River Portland cement factory will have orders from government. And when they have orders from government, this is what it simply means. It simply means that they will employ more casual laborers into the factory because production has increased. Then they will also have people in those sites where these buildings are being constructed. The guy in charge, the foreman in charge, will employ Kenyans during that particular time. remember, these Kenyans have been jobless. They have been jobless for so many years. So if it is a means of earning something for that duration of time, so why can't we support it? Why can't we support it? Why are we making noise about it? Why, architects will earn something in that. People who are doing welding will get some opportunities in that. People who are doing supplies, like supply of sand, nani, even Kimanzi, you are from Mukambani, people in Mtaboni, where the sand comes from, will get money from that. So you tell these people the reality that this housing will actually bring more income on the table for the Asla nation. Thank you.
Yeah, that is Mzalendo saying that we need to tell the Kenyans the reality, because this housing bill will bring a lot of advantages, because those who are getting that construction, and again the sources, we have to get the raw materials from different parts. You also have those who will be taking part in labor will be also getting job opportunities. That is the opinion of Mzalendo, is saying that we need to tell the Kenyans and those who are opposing this bill that it has a lot of advantages, and these advantages will be of use to most of people. Most of people who are going to get jobs, most of them are going to get money, because as they sell, for example, the sand and also the raw materials that, for a house to stand, there should be a lot of things that takes place. So we know that things must be in order, and for the architects and the labor force, a lot of things, and people will be benefiting from this. So we know that it has a lot of advantages, and people are focusing on the negative way when it comes to this housing bill, rather than weighing in both sides when it comes to negative and positive side. Yeah, it's good to hear you saying, remember, saying the housing bill was through long time ago. I don't know when was it passed, that it has been through, and that is opinions is saying it has been passed long time ago. Affordable housing will not improve the inner villagers' lives. You heard that, Mr. Msalendo, that this affordable housing will not improve the inner villagers' life. You know that
I
villagers,
need to answer. I need to answer Goodyear on that particular way of thinking. In the village, you've seen some of these MPs constructing houses for widows, constructing houses for, the needy, the vulnerable, and things like that. Housing will not improve the villagers' life. We are all from a village, all right? Goodyear, we are all from a village, whether you are from Niwa, where I come from a village. And that village boy moved to the city, and that village boy is abroad. So the ripple effects of all this, the village boy moving from the city to look for employment, gets into an urban center, gets a job for construction, or becomes a driver in this particular construction site, sends the money back to the village. That is how it will help the people in the village. When I have got some money to send back to my mother in the village, or my siblings in the village, or to support a community initiative because of the money that I'm having, then that is how the village lives improve. All right. So it is that simple. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. You have answered our question, but maybe she has a different perspective when she asks that question, because she believes that when this housing bill is brought into use, then those deep people, those are found in villages, will not benefit, or will not have the importance of this housing. Again, she's asking Mzalendo, with the Kibra, it is a bit difficult situation because some people have made it a business. Yeah, she's saying a lot of people have made a business in Kibra.
Okay.
Is it true?
Yes, when Raila Odinga was in government as a prime minister, he initiated the affordable housing in Kibra. What happened? What happens? What happens is that when I get a house and I'm from the slums, and then you've heard stories of the same landlords going back to the slums. That might not change. It can only change when we don't have any more slums for them to go back to. All right. So these people automatically become landlords and landladies. So when the landlords and landladies or owners of property decide to rent a house, for example, I'll give you the houses in Parklands. The Boma Yangu project by Uhuru Kenyatta. Those houses were rented, were sold out to Makangas, sold out to to watchmen who were working at the banks. They were sold out. Now, did some of these touts decided to stay in Parklands because it's of its environment? Majority of others decided to rent their houses, either in Ngara. The civil servants who were staying in Ngara, they had another home. So they decided to rent this other one. So that is another source of income that has increased for this civil servant who was being deducted as some money. So automatically they become landlords. Automatically they become, there's an increase in whatever they have been earning in terms of income in every month. Because if you go to rent this house, utalipa deposit ya mwezi mbili. If the house is going for 40,000, you'll pay 80,000. This is a civil servant who probably earns 40K. So you'll pay 80,000. When you pay 80,000, his mortgage is a monthly is paying 3,000 or 4,000 per month. I mean, this is just politics. I can tell you it is mere politics. Affording a piece of land in Kenya today, a 60 by 30, where I would give you an area where I live, a 60 by 30 in Embakasi is going for between 2 million and 4 million. That's a 60 by 30, 2 million and 4 million. And to buy land cash, to buy a land, a parcel of land, you pay cash. Hakuna malipo polepole ati mortgage ama nini. You pay that land cash. Then now you look for money to construct that particular house. At the end of the day, you'll have used 7 million to 10 million to 5 million, depending on the size of house that you want to construct. And I'm telling you, this is just a simple house that you'll spend 7 million. Now, here's the government coming with a project telling you, okay, fine, we'll buy for you that land, we'll construct for you that house, but pay 4,000 for a 3-bedroom house, 4,500 for a 3-bedroom house, or for a suite, for inaitwaje hii I've forgotten the name. He bed sitter. Bed
Yeah,
sitter
bedsitter.
pay 2,500. Sasa, are you still going to complain that we don't want these houses?
Yeah, that is a big question that was posed by Muzalendo is asking, are you still
Now,
going to complain about
today
this
we are
affordable?
engaging with the Goodyear on the comment section. Goodyear is asking another question. Zalendo, not everyone is lucky like you. Goodyear, I wish you knew my story. You would not even be part of. You would not even want to be part of it if you knew my story. So one day I'll tell you my story. So when I tell you my story is when you'll realize that, hey, boss, I know what I'm talking about. When I tell you my story. But so long as you've not heard my story, you'd think I'm lucky. I'm one of these people who have never been lucky in life. But I thank God that He never gave me luck, but He gave me the will to survive, the will to struggle, and the will to depend on prayer as one of the only means that I have in order to survive in this murky world. So, Goodyear, unfortunately, one day nitafute, I'll give you a story of my life. Is when you'll appreciate that it's not luck, it is maombi too.
Yeah. So that is Zalendo there giving his ideas when it comes to housing. And again, this is a Freak 24 TV. And again, here we share everything when it comes to politics and anything that entails sports and anything that entails love. And soon we are going to introduce a very big a show that we are still cooking. I think we are going to make our followers to be entertained and get whatever we share in this platform. So I want to share with you what we always deliver when it comes to every Fridays. And every Fridays we have the Bed of Roses, and the Bed of Roses here is one of the biggest show that makes us entertain and enjoy, and the followers find it interesting. So in bed, that is where you always discuss things that entails only two without in addition of that party. So I want to give a glimpse of what we share by sharing you this clip.
Join us
Watch.
every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for a captivating journey into the world of love, relationships, and romance. Presented by the dynamic trio Maggie Knox, MC Jesse, and Annie Waweru. Bed of Roses promises to be your weekly dose of heartwarming stories, insightful discussions, and expert advice on matters of the heart. Whether you're single, in a relationship, or simply love a good love story, this is the show for you. Don't miss out on the chance to unwind and indulge in the joys and challenges of love, all brought to you by our talented hosts. Tune into Africa 24 every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. and let us guide you through the enchanting world of Bed of Roses. Subscribe now and mark your calendars. You don't want to miss this. See you there.
Yes, you don't want to miss this one because it is one of the biggest shows in our platform, and we always make you entertained every Friday from 8 p.m. That is East African time. When you tune in, definitely you're going to get entertained and know what it entails when it comes to bed matters. So again, Mzalendo, I want to bring up.
Tell me about this program that you are really promoting at Bed of Roses. I've never been there.
This program now is referred to as Bed of Roses. So here we always discuss things that happens when two people come close. You know, this one is meant for couples. You know, when you're married, When you're married, and for example, a man and a woman, when you're married, there are some things that you need to consider. There are some things that you need to perfect. When you have a problem as a man, when you have a problem as a married woman, when your woman is raising complaints that there is a problem in bed, so maybe you are not satisfying her when it comes to bed matters. Maybe you are not giving her the attention. Maybe there is some loops that you are leaving. Then it is here in Afrique 24 Bed of Roses program where we give you all these ideas. We always make sure that we correct any problem that happens when couples meet. When you have a problem in bed, when you have a problem with your partner, when you have a problem with either of things that entails bed, and also marriages, and also those who are in love. Anytime you tune into that show of Bed of Roses, definitely you're going to get a lot of ideas, and you're going to learn, and you reciprocate what you learn to your bed. This is Bed of Roses every Friday from 8 p.m. East African time. Tune in and enjoy that wonderful show in our channel, that is Afrique 24. Always follow us in YouTube, Afrique 24, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, because Afrique 24 is a world channel whereby you can watch wherever you are, UK, United Kingdom, Dubai, when you are in Africa, West Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, when you are South Africa, anywhere you're watching, definitely you are going to enjoy Afrique 24. Back to the main topic today, Mr. Musalendo. I have seen today, I have seen Wajakoya saying that Raila Amolo Odinga is like 18 years old boy. He can still vie for president come 2027 if he fails to acquire that AU chairmanship that any leader is pushing. Even the Azimio leaders are pushing for him to get that position for AU. I have seen Wajakoya. We know Wajakoya has been a loyal supporter for Baba. Wajakoya is saying Raila Amolo Odinga is like a 18-year-old boy, and he can vie for president come 2027 if he fails to get that AU chairmanship. What is your take on that?
I think Raila is sending mixed signals to most of his supporters. He needs to tell them what is in his mind, and clearly what is in his mind. So most of Raila supporters right now are saying that he will be on the ballot in 2027. I know you're talking about the ODM rally that happened in Sindo yesterday, and where we had recruitment going on just days after Ruto visiting Nyanza, Omabe. So that was strategic to send an information that, hey, Mr. President, you came to my backyard, but I have still control of this backyard. That's why they were doing what we call firefighting, and they did it properly. The mobilization was top notch. That rally was very, very big, but it gave a clear signal that Raila Odinga is going nowhere. What else is it telling you? Should I not get the AU seat? I'll still be in Kenyan politics whether I get it or not. That goes against the roles or the rules of being the commission chair. He is doing this deliberately to engage his base, to ensure that he covers his base entirely, even while he's away. He's 2 hours away. He will be having lunch. He will be having breakfast in Kenya if he likes. So his troops, Raila Odinga's troops, these close allies, people who depend on him for the tickets, do they really want him to go away? No, they don't want him to go away, because when he gets out of the political scene, the people of Luo Nyanza and the places that he controls massively will have the independence of thought. So independence of thought means the freedom of choice. Freedom of choice means that you go to the ballot with a clear mind that this is somebody who will who I am electing and will sell my will develop my area at any level, be it MCA, be it senator, be it women rep, be it governor, without having the mindset of the party leader, but the people that elected the various MPs and senators.
I think Mzalendo is trying to say that Raila Amolo Odinga is setting signals anytime anything can happen. And I want to give you a comment that was posted here by one of our followers saying that maybe something is being cooked that we don't know. Maybe something is being done in between the lines that we don't know anything can happen. So someone said here, Raila Ruto, who knows something that we all don't know. Anything has been planned. He will be back with a big position awaiting. Is this true?
Yeah, we've always said it, and that table where they dine, that table is not for me and you. That table is for the rich, and the people who matter in this country. So wakigawana hiyo keki, wanaangalia baba anapata nini, Kalonzo anapata nini, nani anapata nini, and they get away with it. So it is high time that you open your eyes, look at the reality. Maybe there could be a third force out there who can deliver Kenya from this mess, because politicians are playing a ping pong game with your lives, and they don't really care. Do Raila Odinga care about his people? I don't think so. He doesn't. He cares about the support that you give him. Same to other quarters. Do they really do care about what you think? I wish you could go back and see what Baba said on the cost of living when he was asked by this renowned citizen journalist. It's called Gishuro. No. I've forgotten his name. Nitakumbuka jina yake. So ungeenda hapo uone vile alijibu hiyo swali na uangalie hiyo swali ataijibu aje in the year 2024. Majibu ni tofauti sana, but depending on where you sit politically. So we depend on politicians so much to make decisions on our life. We depend on an MP to give us a bursary to take our children to school. We depend on an MCA to improve on our lives. And elections in Kenya is done in one day. The civil society have failed to educate people on the right type of leaders that are needed in those houses. Leaders who can legislate and improve your life. Leaders who can bring bills that will bring affordable housing or affordable schools, secondary schools, free primary education. I mean, these are the things that we are missing, and we are missing them big time. So every time when you hear our leaders talking at us, that this is, if you don't do it, then we are heading somewhere wrong. I can tell you that we probably Kenyans are more intelligent than the political class. But again, we decided to be stupid. That's why we elect stupid leaders.
Zalendo is being asked today, is saying we decided to be stupid. That's why we are now in a total mess. That is a topic for another day. Good year is here asking, Mzalendo, you are right, 100% that Raila needs to talk to his supporters because they are left in a lurch. Say supporters now are in a lure. They don't know what is happening. They don't know what is the end zone for Raila Amolo Odinga. We saw what happened in Homa Bay when that conference was being held. We saw after a long time, Kaluki Ngilu, who was the former governor of Kitui County, she asked Raila Amolo Odinga, what is the plan? Aliuliza Raila Amolo Odinga, baba, umetupangiaje? Because back in 2002, alisema aliwapanga, 2007 akawapanga. So 2027 Charity Kaluki Ngilu anauliza baba, umetupangiaje? So I think Raila Amolo Odinga needs to tell his followers what is the next step, because we are in dilemma. You know, when you are in dilemma, you don't know what is the next step, or you don't know what is happening, or you know something, but you don't know what is the end product. So they are in the dilemma state as the mere followers.
Actually,
Baba needs to.
I saw a Baba supporter coming in here. I know he's listening on the background. Mr. SG, come, kuja tu kwa studio. Don't be embarrassed. Just come back to the studio. Yeah, these are people who have been abusing Ruto left, right, and center. I need them to come back in this studio and we ask them questions, the relevant questions. But whenever they see Mzalendo in the studio, they run away. He came and he took off. So look at this. This is the issue. You know, when we have 149 MPs keeping debate on the housing bill, that tells you a lot. That tells you a lot. People in the Azimio quarters will tell you, oh, these MPs have been compromised, or wali they skipped deliberately only to call for a press conference. Press conference haitusaidii waheshimiwa. We want you to debate in parliament. We want you, whatever proposals that you are putting up there, we want to hear them. We want to see the amendments that you are pushing in parliament. We don't want to see you in doing a presser. Those pressers don't help us to understand the bill, especially those who cannot get into the flow of the house or even read the bills or the standing orders. Can you please be on the floor? They will be listening to you debating on the issues, because that is what you are employed to do. You are employed to debate on the floor of the house. So kindly do us a favor, debate on the issues in parliament, and then come and do a presser. If you have skipped the bill in the house, tell us why you are so busy when an important bill like this is being debated on the floor. We pay you a salary. You know, Kenyan MPs think that they are doing us a favor by being in parliament. You are not doing us a favor. You are representing us. You are representing us, and you are representing taxpayers who are paying you money. Sio favor unatufanyia, na sio ati tafadhali. Now you will elect the same leaders, because some of them have never even opened their mouth in parliament. Maybe you can forgive those ones. But it is sad. It is sad that 149 of them did not participate in the debate. Whether parliament has been compromised or not, we need you to be in that house. We need to understand the bill. We need to understand what you're talking about. Yeah.
We need to understand anything that is taking place, because Kenyans need to know the stand of every person. So I want to read here. That is a comment that was posted some times back by one of our followers. We were discussing about the press ups that was done by President William Ruto during the launch of Talanta Sports Stadium at Jamhuri. that will be hosting AFCON come 2027. I hope, Mzalendo, you saw that press ups. You saw them.
I didn't. I have just been seeing the social media route running like Roadrunner. You know Roadrunner. Roadrunner is a cartoon that I used to watch when I was young. I saw him running, and people are really exaggerating and pulling up his legs and all that. But you know the president is fit. This is guy who drinks murusik every day. Wewe naye unakuja na Johnny Walker red label kila siku kwa kichwa. This is somebody who drinks murusik, jogs, I don't know, 5 kilometers every morning, and goes on his knees for his maker. That is somebody who usicheze naye, ameweka Mungu mbele bwana. Wewe ukikuja na Johnny Walker bwana kwa kichwa.
So unamaanisha rais anafanya tizi vile inafaa.
Hao jamaa anapiga mazoezi si kama sisi bana. Unajua nilikuwa mtu wa mazoezi kitambo, lakini nimefika hapa bana. Kufika hapa ni rahisi, kutoka ndio ngumu.
Kutoka ni ngumu.
Kutoka ndio ngumu. Kukufikisha hapa mali nimefika bwana Kimanzi, utafika tu. Pengine unatamani, lakini kutoka huwezi toka virahisi. So for the president, we have a very fit president. Anapiga jogging yake asubuhi kila mara, ukimpata unampata anafanya jogging. Ujue rais yuko macho, is alert. Hata ukileta maandamano anaweza kimbia mbaya sana.
Do you think President William Ruto supports sports in the right way?
I think President William Ruto comes from a constituency of athletes. He comes from most of the revenue that is earned in areas like Eldoret. In fact, the town Eldoret itself, the kind of investment these athletes are put up, the hotels, the
home of champions.
Yeah, that's the home of champions. And again, they have put a lot of investment back at home. So definitely, Ruto was an athlete. If you probably dig down his roots in school and all that, utapata pia yeye kalikuwa nakimbia tu, lakini ni vile hakuweza kufikia hao wengine. Hao wengine must have been better athletes than him, but he's an athlete. Kutoka St. Patrick's 10, that is the home of athletics, basketball, and all these kind of sports. So ukikuja huku Sacho, people are running, you know. So every day in Eldoret, if you go in the morning and you drive in Eldoret at around 5, 6, you'll find groups of Kalenjin men running for the money. It's not easy. If you are driving Langata Road, going towards Ngong Road, every morning you'll find at least 1, 2, 3 people jogging, and most of them will be athletes. If you're lucky, you go to Karen, you'll find the president jogging in the morning. Yeah.
That is the opinion from Zalendo is saying the president is one of the fit guys who can even play for Harambee Stars. I think we will talk with Eugene Ferrati, who is the coach for Harambee Stars, so that he can feature our president as one of the top strikers there, so that he can score goals. Because we know that we will be featuring in AFCON qualifications this month after the next weekend visitors, whereby we'll be facing the international break. Oh, that was amazing. And if anyone here knows and want to know more about football, make sure every Saturday you have a date with that, because with us you will always be entertained and you will always know what it entails when it comes to football. We have the Dimba Afrique here, and it always runs every Saturday. Here you get the best analysis, and you also get to know what it entails when it comes to football. and you come to realize that anything that entails football is discussed in Dimba, Afrique. So you welcome, we welcome you so that you can join us every time when we have Dimba, Afrique. And I want to play a short clip here for us, and then we come back to the final shot so that you know what we offer here in uh, Afrique 24, because Afrique 24 is a big channel whereby we focus with everything that runs in the entire world. You know, we are with the whole world. When you are in USA, Virginia, Atlanta, Canada, you are in every part, then you don't have to miss this wonderful conversation that happens here in Afrique 24. So here we always deal with everything. So we have been having a good show since the start, and now it's almost 2 hours, 30 minutes. And I want to appreciate those who have been following us. Good here has been a loyal follower, and I think Good here, you need to be awarded as one of our top fan when it comes to Afrique 24 and sharing the content when it comes to Afrique 24 and the entire family. So I have been here, and I want to request Mzalendo so that because he joined us in the middle of conversation to give his last shot so that we can terminate our show, and we call it a day because we have had a very wonderful conversation since the start of this show. Mzalendo?
Thank you. Thank you, Kimanzi. I joined a bit late, but I was following in the background. One thing I would like to tell our viewers is that we are in again another political circle. We again in another circus where politicians are taking us in circus. You have a brain. Let no politician think for you. You need to read the housing bill properly, make proper decisions when it comes to the public debate. When you are out there or when you get a chance to be in the media, please, these are the platforms that these leaders watch. So come make your contributions on this particular platform, Afrique 24. I think Africa has been the home where people can come and air their views freely without being discriminated. Whether you are in UDA, whether you are in Azimio, I think this is the home where you can come and air your views without any kind of discrimination. So please do come and air your views. Politicians listen to this particular program, and other people also give you free knowledge to understand some of the things affecting our society. So, and if you have an information that you need to air out there, please come, we debate. Maybe you've got a story that you need to tell, or you've got a solution to the affordable housing crisis in Kenya. So let us not shy out. Let us not shy from the debate, and we look forward to you participating with us, because I'm a regular on this particular channel. You come forward. Don't shy. Don't be intimidated. Again, this will also help you understand some of the issues. I repeat, SG, mali ulienda ukatoroka ukajificha, we need you here. Kuja hapo tuambie sasa kumeendaje. Na kama unatufuata kisiasa pia ujue maoni zetu ndio zile ungefuata, ungekuwa kwa the right part, ungekuwa unajificha sasa kama vile unajificha. Otherwise, asante sana Boni. Thank you for having me in the studio, and I hope to see you next time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Mzalendo, and for your wonderful contribution when it comes to Afrique 24 TV. And we thank you for sparing your time so that you can come in our studio and give your contribution. We really appreciate and we don't take it for granted when it comes to Afrique24 and the entire family of Afrique24. Mine is to thank everyone who has been here since the start of the show. A good year has been here since the start of the show, and she has been contributing very well and giving us his thoughts when it comes to politics. Since we started with the housing bill up to now, we are coming to closure of this show. And I want to say thank you so much, and we will always meet here at 10 p.m. that is East African time. Make a date with us, and definitely you're going to enjoy and have a good quality time when it comes to politics. And Afrique24 is ready to educate you any day, anytime when you find your time. Thank you so much, and we meet here next day for the next show, for the political show. I was your host today. My name is Boniface Kimanzi, and see you tomorrow.